Firstly, I didn't have to post about my heart, let alone the detail, the depth I went into. I did that because I always strive to be as authentic as you can get.
He's not 100% being transparent. Now, he's giving us a lot of information, but not all of it. But I'm here to finish it off. Coach Greg, in today's video, popular fitness coach Marc Carroll, husband of famous fitness model Lauren Simpson, rushed for another emergency blood test, which showed my heart was leaking troponin into my blood at a terrible level, which shows the heart has been damaged and potential heart attack. And so with his original post, the people, they kept on chirping into the comment section. Was it, in fact, a jab? Is it the abuse of performance-enhancing drugs? And so today, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. 3 days in hospital, in emergency cardiac ward for what was thought to be potentially a heart attack. It seems I have a heart which is too big and has become damaged. I mean, this sounds like the Grinch who grew his heart 3 times bigger than normal, but unfortunately, it got bigger because of steroids. I mean, did you think I was going to say it was the jab? The guy admittedly abused steroids in his 20s, and honestly, I do believe he's still abusing them to this day, but being disguised as HRT. It all started a few weeks ago, about a week ago. As soon as it starts, you should be going to the hospital. Stop waiting for several weeks. Guys, as soon as there's a problem, especially in relation to your heart, you go into the hospital and you get it figured out. Slowly, I began to be unable to walk due to severe swelling in the legs and feet, going from 20,000 steps a day to unable to walk upstairs. Sudden swelling in both legs, that indicates you've already experienced heart failure. As in, it happened in the past, you're already suffering from it right now. We see he has swelling, which is known as edema, and exercise intolerance. He can't even go for a walk anymore. And so those 2 things, clearly, it's not good. He's experiencing acute decompensated heart failure. His heart can't produce the blood required to do exercise, and it's a medical emergency. Sometimes you can experience heart failure, but it's more on the minor side. You can continue to exercise, but when it's at this point, it's extremely serious. And so for a long period of time, he would have had class 1 heart failure, but at this moment in time, it's at class 3. 4 is the worst, and so 3 out of 4 stages, this is not what we want to see. Had many blood tests and tests for blood clots in the legs and also the lungs, as I've also been unable to breathe most days. It all started after a long flight home from Hawaii. Almost instantly the day I got back, my rapid health decline. This was all related. They're different organ systems, however, and so he already had heart failure. He got on that long flight and experienced what's known as a DVT. This is a blood clot which travels throughout your cardiovascular system and ended up blocking his lungs, which is known as a pulmonary embolism. He then tries to walk the dogs for the first time in a while, and midway, it feels like his heart is being crushed. What he's experiencing is chest pain from at least a partial blockage of an artery of the heart, and he still ignores it. He says, me being me, I ignored it and just went to bed. Frankly, he's lucky he woke up. He's lucky to be alive. In emergency, my heart continued to struggle, more to go with the constant leg swelling and breathing difficulties, so was admitted for 3 horrible days. I seem to have a disease of my heart, cardiomyopathy. My heart's ability to pump blood has been severely impaired, which explains my inability to walk and breathe. I have an enlarged heart, and my heart rate is dangerously high consistently, which is called tachycardia. And when we try to bring it down, it then drops my blood pressure dangerously. Quite the pickle, LOL. And so at least he's staying in good spirits. He's making jokes. He's taking this lightly. He doesn't want to get all stressed out. What I believe that he has is right-sided heart failure. I could explain, but it would take far too long. And this is what you need to know. This is worse than left-sided heart failure. It's going to be harder to treat. It's a long process. He says himself, 6 to 12 months, he's going to be undergoing quite the ordeal. When he was given the heart medications, it dropped his blood pressure a lot. And so he actually had more difficult time than most people. I do believe this is from steroids. I am certain that he thinks it's from steroids. And so if you think, no, it's not steroids, it's the jab, well, you can believe that. You can convince yourself of that. But if you're abusing steroids right now, Probably think you're invincible. You're probably in your 20s or perhaps younger. But what's going to happen when you're 40? Do you want to have the exact same thing happen? You're married, you have a beautiful wife, a family, a child. Do you really want to cut your life short? If you want to get your blood work done, you can, of course, go to Algo RX. You can get yourself checked out. But even with blood work, you can't see everything. What you need to do is you need to get your blood pressure checked. You should be getting a physical exam. It's important it's done by a competent examiner. I would suggest you get more than one, because how do you know that they know what they're doing? And of course, an ultrasound of your heart. If you're ever abusing steroids, you owe it to yourself and your future loved ones, your family, to ensure you're being proactive with your health. He posts an update, and remember, Lauren herself says, you don't owe anyone anything. This is 100% true. He doesn't have to say what's going on. He doesn't have to explain himself, but he is in fact a coach. He's trying to make a difference. He's trying to spread awareness. And so thankfully, he is making this message. If he had said nothing, well, how would he be able to help the world?
The vultures are circling after seeing my post about my heart and the fact that, I could have died, and people seem to enjoy to make a lot of misinformation content about that.
By misinformation content and vultures, I don't know exactly what it's referring to, but I would hope that he's talking about the people that think that this is just from a jab. If you have a guy who has admittedly abused steroids in his past and has a physique like this, has done before and after transformation, and is admittedly still on testosterone, and you try to act as if it's probably not the steroids, that it's something else, that is the misinformation. Now, if you think that I am hating on him in this video, then think again. I'm trying to convince you, the viewer, who's watching this right now, to be careful with your steroid doses. Remember, I abuse steroids. Imagine if this was me. I'm 50. I could have the exact same thing happen right now. How would I feel about that? I would hate it. It would suck. You can't have a do-over. There is no going back in time. And so you need to do everything right the first time. People are saying YOLO. You only live once. Yeah, you only live once. And so do it the first time, because there is no second chances.
Firstly, I didn't have to post about my heart, let alone the detail, the depth I went into. I did that because I always strive to be as authentic as you can get. I like to own my wins, but you also have to own your losses. I've been diagnosed with a disease of the heart called cardiomyopathy.
Cardio is heart, myo is muscle, and pathy is disease. And so cardiomyopathy is a disease of the heart. And he's not saying which one. Cardiomyopathy is a bunch of different things. We don't know exactly which one it actually is.
Right now, my heart has an impaired ability to pump blood effectively around the body. And the more specific term is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. So I've had a thickening of the wall around my heart.
When you use steroids and or growth hormone, your heart is going to become thicker. Left ventricular hypertrophy, this is the most common. We've already stated that he has right ventricular hypertrophy, but he most likely has both. This is not good. It's not what you want, but it's very likely, as in it's almost certain going to happen if you abuse steroids.
Signs of this: shortness of breath, which is why I struggle with my breathing, and also severe swelling in things like your legs, hence my inability to be able to walk much these days.
Classic right-sided heart failure, and one of the number one causes, left-sided heart failure. And so almost certainly both sides of the heart are not doing good. And on top of that, most likely, steroids is the cause. Now, you can hate me. Oh, how dare you say it's steroids? How dare you make this video? I'm trying to stop you from doing the same thing.
I also have currently this thing called tachycardia, where my heart rate is extremely elevated constantly. And it's a real struggle to get down. And yes, that's also very dangerous.
And so clearly, tachycardia, the heart rate's high all the time. This is not what you want. I have a very low resting heart rate. It's 48 to 50 typically. When I'm racing bikes, my heart rate is elevated. Imagine if my heart was always elevated, acting as if I'm in a Zwift bike race 24 hours a day. That wouldn't be good. Your heart, it needs the time to relax. It can't be constantly beating this quickly. And so he's suffering from a heart that's beating way too fast for his own good.
Now, good news. We had a CT scan done of my heart where they put basically dye through my heart, and my arteries are actually all perfect. So
his arteries are not perfect. This is ridiculous. I mean, perhaps they didn't explain it to him. I mean, it's good that they're not horrendously bad. There's no calcium score past in the thousands, but It's not perfect.
Funny, because in my CT scan of my heart, I have zero calcium buildup, zero plaque buildup. I have a perfectly healthy heart on a score of 0 to 100.
The test is wrong. If he actually got a proper test, he would know that there is some plaque formation. I mean, how exactly would he have received a pulmonary embolism? The plaque, it forms, breaks off, becomes a thrombus, and moves throughout the body and gets lodged and blocks off the circulation. And so there is no way possible that he has perfect blood vessels. Add to that, he's 40. Even if he wasn't using steroids, eventually the blood vessels, they close over. And remember, if you go to AlgaRx, you get your blood work done, the doctors can prescribe you specific medications. For example, telmisartan. What exactly do you need? Do you need enclomiphene? If you're on abusive levels of testosterone, that is not good. Something eventually is going to happen.
Weirdly, my heart is perfect in some ways. So where people have heart attacks, they have blockages. I literally have a perfect heart. I just have a condition where I've had that thickening of the heart. What's the cause? Number 1, genetics. Number 2, potentially steroid use.
Potentially steroid use. No. Steroid use. It's not a potential. We need to stop downplaying the things that have actually happened. Like drinking and driving. If you are drunk behind the wheel and you crash, you can't say potentially it might have aided in having me crash. No, it did aid in having you crash. If you took steroids, it most certainly made your heart worse.
Even though I've said this many times, I don't know why people act like I haven't. You know, in my early 20s, I was a wannabe bodybuilder. I was doing bigger steroid cycles. I was obviously not a very good bodybuilder. Lost my hair.
Notice he says bigger steroid cycles. People don't want to lie. He's doing steroid cycles right now. You can argue that he is not. You can say, oh, Coach Greg, how do you know? I can tell by looking. Let us examine his before and after transformation. Do you really think he's blasting steroids right there? In that off-season photo, does he look like he's abusing steroids? Now, in the after, does he look natty to you? Do you really think he's been on low doses of HRT, let's call it 100 milligrams a week? Or do you think he's blasting well past 200? He doesn't say the amount because he doesn't want us to know. It's not as if he's saying, hey, I was on 140 milligrams a week. I've been doing that for the last 6 years. This is what I say. I am open, honest, transparent. I'm telling you what I'm taking. He is not. He's giving you a little bit of information. I've been taking tests, but he's not saying exactly how much.
Those things I did then, those actions have consequences most likely now. And even though I'm having the problems now, I don't do the things that I used to do when I was in my early 20s with bigger cycles.
Let's say in his 20s, he was doing tests, tren, and EQ, and Anavar and D-ball, as well as growth hormone all at the same time. And now he's just using test. It doesn't mean he's not abusing. Just because you're only using testosterone doesn't mean you're not on an abusive dose. He's not saying his dose. He's not saying how high his nanograms per deciliter are. In comparison, I'm telling you, my tests have been between 650 and 850. You know what it is. How do you know his are not 2,000 or 3,000? Also, has he shown us his blood work? Has he shown us his cholesterol? We don't know how healthy he's been. It's the same as Mr. Mike. Oh, my cholesterol, it's amazing. My blood pressure is fine. But he's on various medications to lower it. He doesn't show us his blood work. He doesn't show us if he's healthy. Mr. Mike is hairy on the top. He has almost no hair in his lower extremities. And that is a classic presentation of peripheral artery disease. Do you really think that Mr. Mike is healthy? Does anyone think Mike is going to make it to 50 without ending up with something like this?
These days, yeah, I just take testosterone and I have the same amount of testosterone for the last 3-4 years.
I just take testosterone and it's been the same dose for the last 3 or 4 years. Really. And so in his early 20s, I don't know, is he 40 right now? And so 15 years ago, I was on abusive doses, but for the last 3 or 4 years, I'm on the same dose. What if the same dose is 500 milligrams a week? He doesn't say what it is. And so you can't put all of this on what happened when you're in your 20s. And so what does he need to do right now? Can he still take HRT? Yes, but it needs to be low. 100 milligrams a week, max. He doesn't want to risk it. I'm on 140. I was told by doctors I could raise it to 200, but I don't. Why do you think that is? Let's put our thinking caps on. Why wouldn't I want to take 200 milligrams of testosterone a week? Because I want to live longer than last time. I've already done abusive doses. I did them for 10 plus years. Does that sound healthy to you? And so if I continue to take higher doses right now, let's call it 250. I could say I've been on the same dose for 5 years. Yeah, but if that dose is 250 and my testosterone level is at 1300, then that isn't good. I might feel good. I might look amazing. But what's happening on the inside, I will never know.
The doctor thinks something set it off. I've gone through a world of stress the last few years in business. And
the doctor thinks something set it off. Something always sets something off. All the steroids that you've done, all the damages throughout the year, and then eventually something happens. Yeah. You exercise too hard, you have some stress, a bad night of sleep, you go on a flight, a plane, whatever. But the point is, eventually it would have been set off. Even if you had lower stress, even if you slept 7 or 8 hours each and every night, eventually the damage is done, it continues to get worse, and eventually this would have happened.
The last few months in my fat loss phase, I've just struggled terribly with sleep. I was sleeping sometimes like 3 hours a night.
Consider this, fat loss phase. Was he perhaps on a GLP? You know, you can get GLPs at Algorex. Was he taking any of them? Was he using Retta, which is not FDA approved? Is it possible that that aided to it? He wasn't sleeping. Was he, in fact, taking stimulants? Fat burners, was he doing Clen? Was he doing any kind of medication to raise his heart rate to decrease his appetite? That could also play an impact.
So I wasn't sleeping. I was dieting really, really hard. I was
dieting hard, not sleeping, being on testosterone. Doesn't that sound like a bodybuilder to you? How is this different than a competitor getting ready for competition?
In summary, shit happens, actions have consequences from things I did when I was young.
From things he did when he was young and the things he's continuing to do right now. And so he's not 100% being transparent. Now, he's giving us a lot of information, but not all of it. And does he have to? No. But I'm here to finish it off. He is taking more testosterone than he needs, and it's continued to create a problem. We've seen it with Cali Muscle. He was abusing steroids when he was younger, and then he lied about it, saying, no, I didn't use steroids, got mad at Coach Greg for calling him out. Later, he was on HRT. His HRT was 200 plus. More problems, more heart attacks. He had it twice. Let us hope that he can learn from Cali Muscle and others' mistakes and reduce those doses. Oftentimes, these people, they're larger than life. They want the biceps all the time. And eventually, it takes a turn for the worse.
Am I healthy at the moment? No, I'm struggling. I don't feel great. But I'm going to keep turning up as always. I've got the world's most beautiful wife and daughter that I have to keep fighting for. I've got a lot of treatment, a lot of work to do over the next 6 months to a year for my heart. It's going to be an ongoing battle, but I'll get it done.
And so he summarizes everything by saying, for the next year, a lot of battles, but I will overcome this. Being completely transparent, he can't undo all the damages. It's not as if it's never happened. He can slow down the decline. He can make the most of it. He can do the best that he can. He can lower his doses to perhaps 100 milligrams of testosterone a week. He can do exactly what the doctors say to take the various medications, perhaps downsize a little bit. But it isn't good. We can't just make videos like this every single time and say, oh, don't worry, no problem. I'm going to lock in for 6 months and be as good as new. When you make decisions, bad decisions in your life, for example, abusing steroids, there is no going back. He cannot reverse the clock. He cannot go back in time. And this will, not just can, take years off of his life. The sooner you stop, the better. I don't care if your name is Sam Sulik or Chris Bumstead. If you abuse steroids for long enough, bad things can and will happen. And so if you are using steroids, if you're contemplating using steroids, don't do it. Now, can you take Turk Builder Max? Can you take GO2 Max? Can you use HDLT supplements? Of course you can. No negative side effects. It's not dangerous. It's not going to cause you to fail a test by WADA. And so if you don't believe me, hey, purchase, get your blood work done, and prove to the world just how effective it really is. Code Greg for your discount. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algo. Don't forget to go to Algorex as well. Watch one of the two bloops. And if you're interested in being sponsored, an affiliate, or being coached by myself and my team, or to sell these supplements into your store, click the link. And until next time, I am out.